How is everybody doing? It's me once again, Dustin Coyle. You guys are tuned in to Intelligent Thoughts. This show is the NBA Today for February 7th, 2019. Before we begin, I'd like to ask everybody to rate, review, subscribe to the show on iTunes or Podcast Addict, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts from. On Twitter at IntelligentTho1, Intelligent THO and the number 1. Go ahead and reach out to me there. That did pretty well yesterday since I asked about it, as well as Instagram, Intelligent B Thoughts. That's the word B in the middle there, Intelligent B Thoughts on Instagram. That also did decent yesterday. I got a couple of new followers there and heard from somebody on Twitter. So those things, I guess, are going somewhat well. And also, if you're a Facebook user, we got Intelligent Thoughts on Facebook. There's a page there dedicated to everything that the show's going to be doing. Both the show and sharing just different news stories. I think yesterday I shared like a Mike Conley story or Harrison Barnes story or something like that. I'd love it if everybody would go out. If you're into the show, go out and reach out, talk to me. Like to get some interaction going, and that'd be awesome. All right. So, today we're going to be talking, obviously, NBA trade deadline. That would be today, Wednesday night's games, and some games for tonight. Let's get it started. So it looks like the Pelicans, we'll start with some NBA trade talk here. The Pelicans look like they are content to run the clock out on the trade deadline here without making a move. We're about 4 hours removed from the trade deadline right now, and apparently the Lakers-Pelicans talks are dormant, says ESPN. No communication or even an expectation that they'll speak today between the two teams. It looks like the whole AD to LA, at least for now, fiasco is going to come to an end, and honestly, probably for the better. Rightedly so. But the Pelicans were basically trying to fleece the Lakers for much more than they would get from any other team, and obviously more than they were going to get from the Lakers too. And that really would have been a tough move there. That really would have been a tough move to give up the entire team. I'm not even sure what they would have done as far as signing players for the rest of the year. Obviously, Carmelo is available. There's a few people that are buyout candidates, maybe a Zach Randolph or something like that. Basically it looks like trade talks with the Lakers and Pelicans are going to be done. And it looks also like just trade talks, this is what Adrian Wojnarowski is saying, trade talks with the Pelicans regarding Anthony Davis look like they're also going to be done. Oh, we're actually 3 hours away. My bad. I thought it was 2 p.m. 1 p.m. here, Mountain Time, is going to be the trade deadline. All right, there are a few trades that did go down, actually. We had the biggest name one here would probably be Harrison Barnes, traded to the Sacramento Kings mid-game, quite literally. Had 10 points in the game, and then was informed at the beginning of the fourth quarter that he had been traded to the Kings, and actually elected to stay on the bench to root on what is now, I guess, his ex-teammates for the rest of the game. Class move for Harrison Barnes. So the Mavericks are sending Harrison Barnes to the Kings. In return, they're going to be getting second-year forward Justin Jackson and then veteran forward center Zach Randolph. Randolph hasn't played all season. He may be a buyout candidate. They may activate him and try to get some playing time out of him. It's really unclear what's going to go on there with the Dallas Mavericks. But either way, the Kings get another scorer that they needed, especially considering they're only a game and a half out of the 8th spot in the Western Conference playoffs. And then as far as the Dallas Mavericks, they get to dump Harrison Barnes' salary which was, I don't even remember, like 17, 18 million. It was a solid salary from the free agency class of 3 years ago. And they're going to be moving on, obviously, with their 1-2 punch of Luka and Kristaps. Hopefully, I'm guessing they're going to be attempting to lure a third member of what would be the big three there with the cap space that was Harrison Barnes. Probably a pretty good move for both. We'll see how it plays out. LeBron James actually took to Instagram on Wednesday night, pointing out the hypocrisy of teams trading players versus players requesting trades. He said it was a big deal, basically, or he was really upset that Harrison Barnes was traded mid-game or was informed mid-game of the trade. He just really would prefer, obviously, to, before or after the game. Wait till after the game or whatever you got to do. Definitely an awkward situation there. The Mavericks do end up playing okay and getting the victory. We'll talk about that too here in a minute. What other trades have been cemented here? The Wizards, 2 deals here. This one is the most recent one. I haven't seen this until I just clicked this up, so I'll be reading this just as I see it here. The Washington Wizards traded forward Markieff Morris to the New Orleans Pelicans for forward Wesley Johnson. Realistically, we're talking about a cash dump here. Markieff Morris has been a better player than Wesley Johnson this season. He's averaging 11.5 points, 5 rebounds for the Wizards. They're going to be saving a lot of money towards the luxury tax, though. They also traded Otto Porter in this one. Johnson is just averaging 3.7 and 2.1 rebounds off the bench so far for the New Orleans Pelicans, and it's tough to see him really getting much better in Washington. So that's, I guess, a good trade for the Wizards, at least because they have the John Wall contract that they have to worry about. And as I just foreshadowed a little bit there, the Wizards, in their attempt to dump more salary, they also trade Otto Porter Jr. to the Chicago Bulls for Bobby Portis and Jabari Parker. I think that's actually a pretty good trade there for the Wizards. I'm not entirely sure what the Bulls get out of this. I guess they get out from under the 2 contracts, the Jabari Parker and the Bobby Portis contract. I believe Otto Porter is going to be a free agent this year. I'm not entirely positive about that, but I really don't know if they think that they're going to be able to pair him with a Markkanen, Zach LaVine combo and try to get back into the playoffs. I'm not sure what their plan is. But as far as the Washington Wizards, another salary dump here, and they do get a couple of promising players who have been maybe a little bit definitely not valued highly and underperforming probably to some extent here so far in their early careers. Jabari Parker, though, was a 20-point-per-game scorer like 3 years ago. I think that he's got a really high upside, and Bobby Portis looks good as well. It looks like the Bulls, along with those 2 players, also send a protected 2023 second-round draft pick to the Wizards. What else do we got here? A 3-team deal, a little bit more minor, lands Iman Shumpert in Houston. The Rockets are going to send guard Brandon Knight, forward Marquise Chris, and a 2019 lottery-protected first-round pick to the Cavaliers. The Cavs are going to send Alec Burks to the Kings, and guards Nick Stauskas and Wade Baldwin to the Rockets. Those are the 2 guys that they just got this week in a trade that sent Rodney Hood to the Portland Trail Blazers. Shumpert's had a pretty decent season here, averaging 8.9 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Looks like he's going to have some significant playing time off of the bench for Houston and hopefully be able to bolster their defense a little bit. That's one thing that they're definitely missing, especially at the wing positions with obviously James Harden not being terribly good at it. And Chris Paul not being the same player that he was, Eric Gordon not the best defensive player. So hopefully Iman Shumpert can provide a little bit of defensive stoppage, in the 3rd and 4th quarter for the Rockets. What else is going on? I think we're missing one team here. That's it. I guess those are all the players. Both James Harden and Chris Paul have said that they're happy, different things. Paul, I've known Shump for a while. Scrappy, he gets after it. He's into the tenacity that Iman Shumpert is going to be able to bring. And James Harden, I guess, just kind of echoed the same excitement and sentiment about the Iman Shumpert trade. And I think it's a good thing there for the Houston Rockets. I don't really see any other trades right now going on. Still, the big names, Anthony Davis, still a possibility he's going to get traded, although it looks like he's not. The Grizzlies, Marc Gasol, Mike Conley, still both on the trading block. Mike Conley just last night said that he did not want to play in Utah. That was previously speculated that a trade for Ricky Rubio and a first-round pick to the Jazz was a possibility for Mike Conley, but he has come out and said he doesn't want to play for Utah, and if he gets traded, he would prefer an Eastern Conference team. Obviously, they had trades with the Toronto Raptors about a possible Kyle Lowry and somebody else, or Kyle Lowry and a pick. Not entirely sure why the Raptors would be into that, but I guess Marc Gasol and Mike Conley are probably the two biggest names that might be traded as we move forward in the next couple hours here. Alrighty, enough about the trades. Let's recap some of the scores from Wednesday night. The first game in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets beat the Denver Nuggets 135-130. I think that's back-to-back road losses for the Nuggets, actually. In the win, D'Angelo Russell finishes with 27 points and 11 assists. And the Nets have already surpassed last season's win total with 29. Fantastic. 2 games above 500. One of the big surprises of the year. Playing fantastic and looking like they're going to be a factor in the playoffs. Off the bench for the Brooklyn Nets, DeMar Carroll, 18 point, 10 rebounds, 6 assists in 28 minutes. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson gives you 15 points in 20 minutes. And in the starting lineup, Jarrett Harris with 17 points in 32 minutes in the victory. For the Denver Nuggets in the loss, they're led by a really fantastic game from Jokic. 25 point, 14 rebound, 10 assists, triple-double, 8 for 13 shooting, just 5 missed shots on 25 points. Fantastic game for him. Just not enough defense as they lose in the 130s here. Plumlee also gives you 24 points and 6 rebounds. He does foul out in the game in 28 minutes. Jamal Murray said he wasn't going to play. It looks like he does play in this game. 19 points, 11 assists for him. All right, in Chicago, the New Orleans Pelicans with a comeback victory. They win 125-120 in Chicago. Julius Randle puts up 31 points off the bench in the victory here. 7 rebounds in 31 minutes, 4 for 6 from downtown. Awesome performance for him. In the starting lineup, Jrue Holiday with 18 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds, just 3 for 13 from downtown, but still enough to get the victory there. For the Chicago Bulls in the loss, they're led by Zach LaVine's 28 points, 8 rebound, and 7 assists night. 33 minutes for him. Good game overall. And actually, I didn't see that. There you go. Lauri Markkanen, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 for 10 from downtown in 41 minutes. Really a bright star there. I'm a Markkanen fan myself. We'll see what they do going forward. Obviously, he's a good scorer, sort of a Dirk, not great defensively. Neither is LaVine defensively, but again, a good scorer. They do have good pieces here. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure why they're struggling to be the worst team in the league. I think they're a much better roster than the Knicks, for example. A much better roster than the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they all pretty much have the same record. So tough home loss here to the New Orleans Pelicans, minus Anthony Davis. Big night for Julius Randle in that one. All right, to Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Bucks beat the Washington Wizards 148-129. Giannis Antetokounmpo with one of the best games of his career. 43 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 7 for 21 shooting. Just 4 missed shots on a 43-point night, including 3 for 3 for downtown in the dominating win here. Eric Bledsoe provides 22 points and 11 assists, 4 for 5 from downtown. As a matter of fact, everybody shoots well from downtown in the starting lineup here for Milwaukee. 3 for 4 for Brogdon, 1 for 3 for Brook Lopez, but 3 for 5 for Chris Middleton as well. Only one player under 50% from downtown. That was a big night there for the Milwaukee Bucks. And in the loss, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists for Bradley Beal, 12 for 22 shooting. Not his best performance night, but still able